beside us in the canal, we've got one advisor. He's wearing his blue t-shirt, and we have another one the second day. The first tricky part is rafting us to another boat, but fortunately we had two professional line handlers, Amil and Luciano, that we hired, and they do that 3 times a week, so they really know what to do. To get into the lock, you have to go between these huge walls. It's a bit scary, but fortunately the advisor, he knows exactly what to do, so you just follow his instructions.
Neutral, okay. Now, both give it slow reverse, the two of us. Wheel in the middle and slow reverse.
So once we're inside the log, the water starts coming in, so we go up. There's 3 chambers, so you go up 3 times, and then once it's all done, you can go forward and go into the lake, and you actually spend the night on the lake, which is pretty amazing.
Here we are, getting ready to do the last 3 locks of the Panama Canal. Casting off our buoy.
So the second day we have another advisor. It's called Juan. He's super nice and super knowledgeable. And so first you sail across the lake, which is about 20 miles, and then you get into the lock. So it's much longer the second day.
Juan, he's our advisor. Say hello, Juan.
How are you? Good morning. He's waiting for his transfer later on today.
He's still at anchor.
It looks like he's not going to stop. Yeah. Then we'll follow him on board. Start report. Okay, the first lock we're going to see is Pedro Miguel Lock. At that lock, we're going to drop down once. So once we go in the locks, we drop down once, and we move over to Miraflores Lake. After that, we go to Pedro Miguel Miraflores Lock. And in that lock, then we have to do 2 chambers. We drop down once, we move to the lower chamber, we drop down again, and then we go to the Pacific Lock.
How far do you go down in each lock?
It's about 9 meters or so.
9 meters, okay, about 30 feet.
Yeah, about 30 feet or so, 8 meters. And that's a total of 3 sets of chambers, which is the same as Katun Locks. You go up 3 times at Katun Locks. At the Pacific side, you go down 3 times as well.
So we go across the lake for the whole morning. It takes about 4 hours, and there's plenty of island. It's quite beautiful.
And again, to say this to the camera, is Barro Colorado,
Island.
the largest island in the canal.
Inside the Katun Lake area.
Okay.
So man-made island.
These things that look like islands here are really buried hills. And they missed the tourist boat.
So these guys have got a problem with the engine. The pilot explained to us, so they're putting them to the side, so they don't slow the whole traffic down, and they're going to fix their engine, and tomorrow morning they'll resume transiting. So they are northbound. That was the last one going northbound. Now it's going to be our turn with the big ship behind us. All the southbound traffic is going to go because we are coming to a part of the channel that is very, very narrow. So it can just be one way. It's pretty impressive.
Oh, okay, at Pedro Miguel Locks and at Miraflores Locks, when we do the down lockage, we will go ahead of the ship. The car carrier will be our stern, and the sailboats will be ahead of the ship as we go down. And this is the Chagres River that goes to the north. And from here on is the Gaylord Cut. This is the narrow part of the canal that is a one-way traffic. And it was the hardest part to construct back then in the early 1900s. Asegúrate ahí adelante, Amir.
So going up, there was one lock, the Gatун's lock with 3 chambers, but going down, it's 2 locks. So there's Pedro Miguel first and then Miraflores. So every time you've got the guy on shore throwing us the little lines, and we have to attach our big lines to the little lines, and then they pull and they can tie us up to the side.
Yeah.
This is really impressive when you go down and you see the big ship behind. They're almost stuck between the walls. And so now we move to the last chamber before the Pacific. So going down one last time, and then it's going to be the ocean.
One last drop and we will be in the ocean. Right on line.
Then once you're done, the gate opens, there's a big bell rigging, the ship is blowing its horn, and you're into the Pacific.
And here we are coming up to speed.